Jesus Freak here. Oh no! Jesus Freak's got the Catholic Bible out. That's right. I had to talk to a viewer on my channel that I'm going to have to block from posting. And I know for a fact this viewer is Catholic. So for that reason, I'm not using a Protestant Bible. It doesn't matter. I can make the same point with the Challoner that I can make with the King James. Now, one of the most commonly abused verses in the Bible is 2 Thessalonians 3:10. And if you can believe it, some of the people who have abused this verse are none other than Vladimir Lenin and Joseph Stalin. It's a very abusable verse. I must remind you, and this is a saying that I've picked up elsewhere, but it's just as true for me as it is over on Fighting for the Faith. 3 main rules for sound biblical exegesis. Context, 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 right? So, the verse being abused here is 2 Thessalonians 3:10, which here reads, "For also when we were with you, this we declare to you, that if any man will not work, neither let him eat." And keep in mind, at this point in time in the English language, will isn't being used as a simple future. But in the sense of is not willing. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to explain the thing a bit better in context. So I'm going to go back to verse 7. "For yourselves know how you ought to imitate us. For we were not disorderly among you, neither did we eat any man's bread for nothing. But in labor and in toil we worked night and day, lest we should be chargeable to any of you. Not as if we had not power, but that we might give ourselves a pattern unto you to imitate us. For also when we were with you, this we declared to you, that if any man will not work, neither let him eat. For we have heard that there are some among you who walk disorderly, working not at all, but curiously meddling. Now we charge them that are such, and beseech them by the Lord Jesus Christ, that working with silence they would eat their own bread." The context here is basically that people who were working with Paul opted to just gad about and be gossips instead of making something of themselves. Now, in the particular context that prompted me to make this video, I had someone that I know who's a hate watcher of my videos, and I know he's a Catholic. That's why I'm using Catholic Bible. And He called me a parasite son of a. And in the context of his comment, which thankfully got caught up in YouTube's automatic moderation system, he called me out because I called him out for misusing this verse. Now, let me make something clear here. My lack of employment is not a matter of me not trying to get work. McDonald's wouldn't hire me. Tops wouldn't hire me. They'll hire anyone. Ask me how I know that. Besides, if you're an employer, you have a choice of someone in their 40s with a bad heart and someone who's about 18 who has a normal heart and can do probably 5-10 times as much work with less stopping for breaks. Who are you going to pick, right? But this verse, a lot of people are saying, oh, we shouldn't do charity work because people are just lazy. Are they? Is everyone who doesn't have a job just a lazy mooch? Everyone? Everyone? I understand you're a tradcath. Your canon documents say, I'm a 5'6", talking plague virus on 2 legs, right? Because it literally says anyone who believes certain Protestant dogmas, such as his 66-book canon and Prima Scriptura, is an anathema. And don't tell me anathema doesn't mean the curse of Achan. It literally says so right here. And don't forget about the times in the Bible where believers are commanded to help the less fortunate if they're able. I didn't ask for a handout. I have to make this a point every time people bring it up that I don't have a job. It ain't because I want to sit on my butt all day. I wasn't the one who initiated the process to get me on government benefits. That was done by people I was working for. I have to point that out a lot. Because there's this idea that, everyone trying to get government benefits, everyone's trying to get on the system and mooch from people. And that was never my case. understand a lot of people are going to think that because, you know, I'm just saying, you don't know a person's situation till you walked a mile in their shoes, right? I'm sure even your reading of this wouldn't justify calling me a parasite. Certainly wouldn't justify calling me a son of a right? Alright, I had to take this into the editor because of the language. Just want to be clear on a few things here. Your attitude is not by any mark Christian. Even if you don't consider me a human being. Right? Jesus freak out.